Hello, this is Michael from Studio One Expert. I want to show you in this video how some of the UAD plugins can really help out your bass tracks. I want this to be a mini-series featuring using UAD plugins on bass, with this being part 1, reamping. One of the many great features of the Universal Audio Apollo interface is the ability to record through plugins latency-free, and all of the processing happens on your UAD equipment, not on your computer. And when you use plugins on the Apollo's console app, you have the choice to record the plugins or not. I am a longtime UAD user since the old UAD One days, and I have to say having the option to track through plugins and having the choice to record it into the DAW is fantastic. For some things, I commit to some processing when recording, and some I do not. Normally I would record a live bass direct into the Apollo interface monitoring through an amp model, maybe even some more additional processing, but I would not record the processing. This gives the player the interaction of playing through an amp, and me the ability to use any amp I like later in the production or the mix. Another scenario would be a virtual instrument bass. In the example track, I have a virtual instrument bass that's been bounced to audio. This is where using some UAD bass amp modeling can really help out. I copied the bass track 3 times, and I inserted the UAD Ampeg Svt Evr on a track, the Ampeg SVT-3 Pro on a track, and the Softube bass amp room on a track. Then I routed all of these bass tracks to a bus labeled bass. And on the bus, I have a UAD Neve 1073 with the 80 Hz filter on, just removing some of the sub bass from the track. Let's listen to the example track with the original virtual instrument bass line. It's labeled Bass Direct, and this track has no amp or cabinet modeling, so we're going to treat it as our Bass Direct track. We have a little bit of a busy playing section, a softer part, and a build up back to the busy section. Let's take a listen. Alright, the first model we're going to look at is the Ampeg Svt VR. This thing sounds fantastic. The plugin is laid out great with many controls, of course the amp controls, with the addition of a noise gate, filters, different cab and mics, and a power soak. Let's take a listen to the SVT VR, trying some presets and adjusting some controls. And just like miking up a bass amp and recording a direct DI signal, we can blend our original bass track with the Ampeg. You may notice I have a mix tool plugin on all of the bass channels. The purpose is to flip the phase of the track if needed when combining bass channels to keep the bass in phase. I turn the phase invert on all the mix tool plugins, then if I want to flip the phase, I just activate the mix tool. Let's take a listen. plugin. Next, let's try the SVT-3 Pro. Again, a great plugin layout, cab, and mic options. Everything you need is easy to find and adjust. Let's take a listen. And another great sounding bass amp. And the third is the Softube bass amp room. The bass amp room has some great presets and options for different cabs and mic placement. Let's take a listen. They all sound great. Blending a combination of these amp models with each other or with the direct track can really bring a sample bass like this one or a direct recorded bass to the sound you're going for. The harmonic content and size that these amps add to the bass and to the bottom end of the track's overall energy is really great. Like I mentioned in the opening of this video, I want to make this a mini-series using UAD plugins on bass. This is part 1, reamping bass with UAD. Thanks for watching. Now go make some great music.